In a move that has reignited controversy, former President Donald Trump announced his plan to send migrants to the Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. This announcement, made on January 29, 2025, during the signing of the Locke-and-Riley Act, signals a return to a policy many thought had been abandoned. The plan focuses on migrants who cannot be immediately deported back to their home countries. This decision has sparked widespread debate about its legal and ethical implications. Critics argue that it is inhumane and counterproductive to detain migrants, especially in a facility with such a troubled history. Proponents of the plan, however, argue that it is necessary to deter illegal immigration and protect national security. They maintain that Guantanamo Bay, with its existing infrastructure and remote location, provides a secure and controlled environment for processing and detaining migrants. This move marks a significant shift in U.S. immigration policy and has drawn criticism from human rights organizations and international bodies. The use of Guantanamo Bay, a place synonymous with human rights violations to detain migrants, raises serious concerns about the treatment of those seeking asylum or a better life. While Guantanamo Bay is primarily known for housing suspected terrorists, it also has a lesser-known history of detaining migrants. The base houses a separate migrant operations center, distinct from the facilities used for terror suspects. This center has been used on and off for decades, primarily to house migrants intercepted at sea, mainly from Haiti and Cuba. The use of Guantanamo Bay for migrant detention dates back to the 1990s, during a mass exodus of Haitian refugees fleeing political turmoil and economic hardship. The Clinton administration, facing a surge in migration, used Guantanamo as a processing center for Haitian refugees. This period witnessed widespread criticism over the conditions of detention and the indefinite holding of asylum seekers. The use of Guantanamo for migrant detention continued into the 2000s, with the Bush administration detaining Cuban migrants intercepted at sea. The Obama administration, despite pledging to close the Guantanamo detention facilities, continued to use the migrant center to process and detain individuals arriving from Cuba and Haiti. The history of migrant detention at Guantanamo Bay is riddled with allegations of human rights abuses, inadequate medical care, and prolonged detention without due process. This history casts a long shadow over the current administration's plans to revive this controversial practice. The Migrant Operations Center at Guantanamo Bay has been the subject of numerous reports highlighting the harsh conditions and inadequate facilities for those detained there. A 2024 report by the International Refugee Assistance Project described the conditions as prison-like, with migrants held in a punitive system characterized by indefinite detention and a lack of accountability for the officials in charge. Detainees at the center have reported experiencing psychological distress due to the uncertainty surrounding their cases and the lack of information about their rights. The isolation of Guantanamo Bay, coupled with limited access to legal aid and communication with the outside world, exacerbates the challenges faced by those detained. Concerns about the center's capacity to provide adequate medical and mental health care have also been raised. With a potential influx of detainees under the new policy, there are questions about the availability of resources to meet the needs of a larger population. The Trump administration has provided limited information about the conditions at the Migrant Operations Center or how they plan to address the concerns raised by human rights groups. The lack of transparency surrounding the center's operations raises further concerns about the well-being of those who will be detained there. Beyond the ethical and humanitarian concerns, Trump's plan to send migrants to Guantanamo Bay faces significant logistical and legal challenges. The facility, primarily designed for holding a small number of high-security detainees, is ill-equipped to handle a large influx of migrants. Additionally, the legal basis for detaining migrants at Guantanamo Bay, a territory leased from Cuba, remains contested. Cuba has long argued that the U.S. presence at Guantanamo is illegal and has repeatedly called for the return of the territory. The use of Guantanamo for migrant detention also raises questions about its compliance with international law, including the 1951 Refugee Convention, which prohibits the penalization of refugees for illegal entry and mandates non-refoulement, the principle of not returning refugees to countries where they face persecution. Further complicating matters, the Biden administration has taken steps to improve relations with Cuba, including easing some travel and remittance restrictions. Trump's plan throws a wrench in improving these relations and could reignite tensions between the two countries. The legal and diplomatic complexities surrounding Guantanamo Bay are likely to hinder the implementation of Trump's plan and could lead to protracted legal battles.